Good morning. Morning, everybody. We'll just go ahead and start our podcast recording as well. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Time for a little coffee chat show. We'll let everybody catch up with the fact that we are live and online. I didn't publish a live event for this. I guess I should do that. The working single mom has joined us, which would be Tracy. Hello. Good morning, everybody. We will be short and sweet this morning because it's Saturday and I'm sure everybody has lots to do. Good morning. Good morning, Tabitha, Josephine, Tracy, Elizabeth. Hi, Michelle. Good morning. Hey, everybody. How are you? We will... Hi, Dinah. Good morning. Leslie. Good morning from New York. Good morning from New Hampshire. Hi, Irene. We've got everybody weighing in here. Good morning, Debbie. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's coffee chat. This morning we're going to talk about how you steal your own power, or how you thwart your own power, might be a better word. Hi, Krista. Hi, Ann. Good morning, everyone. We've got Canada, we've got New Hampshire, we've got New York weighing in. We've got people from all over watching Coffee Chat. Welcome and good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. Hi, Liz. How are you? We're going to talk about how you zap your own power. So let's talk about all the unfinished things that you have. We often will tell ourselves a story about why we can't get something done, or how come we're procrastinating something. Good morning, Janet. And then we wonder why we have no energy, and then we wonder why we don't feel like doing anything, or we feel like we can't control anything, or we feel like we can't create anything new. And I feel like, we're coming into the spring, coming into the summer, and I know everyone's probably so sick of all this pandemic stuff, so sick of hearing about it. There isn't a lot of, the news doesn't make its money off reporting good news, right? So try to limit your exposure to the news, for one thing, because nobody wants to hear about good news. Everybody, they gather their listenership and audience from reporting bad news. That's what people... It's like when you're driving down the road and you see a car wreck and you don't want to look, but, it's like that. So try to limit your exposure to mass media, for one thing. And I think, at least I'm feeling it. You guys might be feeling it too. Just kind of this like, oh my goodness, like let's just get back to our normal lives. I think there'll be a new normal, whatever that's going to be. What I always say is that we have ultimate control over what is happening to us. We have ultimate control over our response to everything, right? We can't control allergies. Can't control what's going on out there. Can very much control what's going on here. So, along that line, you end up taking your own power from yourself when you have lots of unfinished projects, when you have things that you want to see yourself do that you're not doing, like that book you wanted to write, or that closet you wanted to clean out, or that quilt you wanted to sew, or the business you wanted to start, or the Etsy store that you wanted to start, or the crafts you want to make. Or I bet any one of you can name at least 2 or 3 things that you tell yourself you want to do someday, one day, and then you make up a reason why someday, one day isn't today. So it's either you have to wait to gain the knowledge, or you have to wait for the perfect time, or you have to wait for the kids to grow up, or you have to wait for school to end, or you have to wait till you feel like it, or you have to wait till you have a different job, whatever, right? So I bet that any one of us has, like I said, Christopher, hi! Good morning, Mary, Nicole. Good morning, everybody. I see you all flowing in. I bet that any one of us has at least 3 to 5 things that we have on our list of things that we're going to do or going to complete or going to finish, even if it's a book that you started that you just set aside because you don't have the time to finish it, or if it's that side hustle research that you want to do for that business that you want to start, or whatever. I guarantee every one of us has 3 to 5 things and probably more than that. So here's what steals your power, right? Is knowing that those things are there, that you want to do something about them or that you want to complete them, and then you don't do anything. So your inaction is actually what steals your power from you, because it creates like an apathetic energy, right? Amy, I was wondering where you've been. Hello. Hello, Nancy. My sister-in-law. Hello, my sister-in-law, Nancy, as well. Good morning. So good to see you. And we'll see you soon. Finally, they're going to lift our travel restrictions in Vermont as of June 1st. And then we're headed to see our family in Boston, and we're so excited. Good morning, Susie, Mary. Hello, everybody. So what steals your power from you and your energy is all this unfinished stuff, or all the things that you want to do that you're not doing. Even if you say to yourself, I want to be working out or doing yoga every day, and then you're not doing it, okay? So it's all of that kind of stuff is what takes your power away from you, is not completing things, not being in action, and not just doing something towards the completion. And the small things you can probably complete, like could be even as simple as you keep opening a drawer in your kitchen, let's say, and you know that it's a mess, and you say to yourself, oh, I've got to clean that drawer, and you just keep opening the drawer and looking at the mess and saying to yourself, I've got to clean that drawer, and then you don't clean the drawer. Or your bedroom is kind of messy, or your closet's kind of messy, or like I said, you have a book that you didn't finish, whatever, okay? All of that stuff takes your energy little by little. It's not one huge energy suck or power suck. It's like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, until all of a sudden you're waking up and you feel sort of apathetic, or you feel like, what's the use? Or you feel like, I can't, or I don't want to, or I just don't have the energy, or whatever it is that you tell yourself. So how to start to get your power back and get your energy back is start to be in action, right? Because when you're in action and you do the thing, whatever it is, you gain a little bit of power and energy from that, okay? Consistency is key. Even if you're telling yourself, let's just take workouts, right? You're telling yourself that you want to work out every day and you're not doing it. Even if you just took a 5-minute walk, even if you did 5 minutes of yoga, consistency, being in action consistently is what creates change and what creates you gaining more energy, gaining more power, feeling better about yourself. And as you start to get into that momentum, then you start to attract more good, you start to have more energy, you start to complete more projects, okay? It's like that. So it's a perpetuating thing. When you catch momentum, you got to like lean into the momentum and keep pushing, and then the momentum gets bigger, and then it gets easier to manifest the things that you want, because now you're kind of rolling along instead of just being stuck. And I feel like right now, a lot of people are just feeling stuck. Like they're just sick and tired of being sick and tired of all of the whatever. Okay? So, Rachel's joining us from Australia. That's great. I love it. We have people from all over the world watching Coffee Chat on Saturday mornings. And I'm so grateful to see you all and have you all join us. So thank you for that. So Helena's reminding you to take time for yourself, and I agree with her. We have been talking about, making sure you're doing self-care. We've been talking about that for the last few weeks. But this morning I really wanted to hit on be in action, because I'm going to give you guys a challenge, right? So I want you to come up with like 3 to 5 tasks, projects, whatever, that you've been putting off. Could be as simple as cleaning out a drawer. Could be as complicated as figuring out a side hustle for yourself and getting started on that. Could run the gamut. but I know that you all have projects or things, whatever, that you are not accomplishing, that are bothering you, that you think about in the back of your mind, even if you don't think about it every day. I will give you an example of myself because I have a lot of these things. I have several books that I started that are just sitting. Now, I've read other books, you know, I read a lot, but these particular books are just sitting there, unfinished. I have a kitchen drawer that needs attention. It's like the junk drawer in the kitchen. I have a training class that I signed up. I have 2 trainings. I have a leadership training that I'm doing that I'm behind on the modules of. You know, you can kind of log in and watch it whenever you want. So I'm behind on that. And then I have another training that I signed up for that I started last year at the beginning of the pandemic. And it's just sitting. And then I got a burst of energy and I logged in. I did a bunch of it, and then it's just been sitting. So I was going through my list of things that you know, are hanging for me that I'm not completing. And this is how this conversation to bring to you guys started, is it started with myself and thinking about, because there's another training that I want to do for something else. And I thought, shit, I probably ought to finish, you know, a couple of things first and go, you know, instead of just having a whole bunch of things that are half completed or partially completed. So I thought this is a good conversation to bring to you guys as well, because it definitely steals your aliveness and steals your power when you have all kinds of unfinished things, uncompleted projects, when you're procrastinating, when you're putting things off. You have that energy drags you down whether you know it or not. And that is stopping you from capturing the full amount of your power to go forward and create the future that you want, right? So you are in a particular place in your life, me included. We're all at a particular place. We all envision going to a different place, whether it's, you know, whether we want to up economic income, or we want to be in better shape, or we want to lose weight, or, you know, whatever the thing is for you. You're at a particular place. You want to go up higher, and you need a certain amount of energy and inner power to get yourself to the next thing. All right. So how you gather energy for yourself and how you get your power back from this apathetic feeling. I had a couple of days this week. I don't know if it was the energy just collectively, because a couple other people that I know were feeling the same way, but I had several days of like, what's the use? Why am I even doing this? Nobody cares. I shouldn't even bother. What is the purpose of my life? Like, I had a few days of that kind of conversation, which is never helpful and of course doesn't make anything happen. And honestly, I think that those kinds of conversations are fed off of, you know, all the little bits and pieces. And so then when I looked around to say to myself, why might I be feeling like, you know, what could I accomplish? What can I do? What can I be in action about? And I started looking around. I was like, oh, that training. Oh, I need to catch up on that training. Oh, I need to complete that training. Oh, look at that book. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at, if you saw, there's a big pile right over here on my desk, which needs to be gone through. And I have to get all of our tax stuff to our accountant, which is basically, you know, just getting all kinds of things together because everything's ready. I just have to put it in a package and get it out the door. Stuff like that, right? Or just like, oh yeah, I'll do that later. Oh yeah, I'll get to that. Oh yeah, I'll get there. Oh, I'll do that later. So this week, let's be in action, because when you're in action, you do the thing and your power comes from that thing, right? Darren Hardy says that in his leadership training. Do the thing, get the power. 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 That's kind of where I want to be this week, where I'd like to see you guys join me, is do the thing and get the power. Danielle's wanting to know what we're talking about. Danielle, we're talking about all of the things that you have hanging, all of the different projects that you want to do. We're talking about how you lose your personal power. And how you lose your personal power is by a whole bunch of tasks and things and even wishes, like, oh, I want to start working out, I want to be doing this, I want to start a side hustle. All of those things that we are not being in action about, this is the way that you lose your power, okay? So Janet is saying she gets so overwhelmed by the things that she needs to do, then she just shuts down and she does nothing. And this is really what I want to speak to, because that's my conversation as well. Well, if I can't finish that whole training in one sitting, then I'm not gonna, then why even bother? So this is where it's really important to see that a little tiny piece of action, that feeds off of itself, right? So be in action about some tasks or some projects or something this week. I want you to be in action. Do the thing, get the power. Even if it's clean out the drawer, even if it's read a chapter in the book that you need to finish, even if it's do a module of the training that you have to finish, even if it's clean half the pile on your desk, okay? The trick is to be in action consistently, even if the actions are small. Be in action consistently. If it's about workouts, do 5 minutes. And then maybe after a couple days of 5 minutes, you'll want to do 10 minutes. And then maybe after a couple days of 10 minutes, you'll want to do 20 minutes. Okay? Be in action. That's the takeaway for today. Be in action. Do the thing, get the power. This is right from clean out the refrigerator. Perfect, Christopher. Mine needs to be cleaned out too, actually, now that you say that. Liz is saying, what did I say about doing them halfway without finishing? I think that, Liz, so if you have a plan, if you have a task, let's say, and it's not a task that you can get done in a tiny amount of time, then be in action about that task consistently until it's completed. And every time you're in action and you do a piece of it and you can call that piece done, then you're gaining power and you're giving yourself, accolades to keep going, to finish it, to get it done. Okay? So the module from the training program that I was watching last night, because I tasked myself with getting caught up on this thing, it was, do the thing, get the power, do the thing, get the power. And Darren Hardy repeated that quite a bit to drive the point home. And I felt like he was talking right to me, because then that caused me to go and look at, what am I not doing? What am I leaving undone? What am I telling myself a story about? What have I been procrastinating? And my list was pretty significant. I have another training that I, signed up for that I need to finish the modules. I have another training that I want to do. And this is all, my stuff is all business related, right? Because I'm a communications consultant. So I like to just keep my skills polished. So I'm always looking for, what I can do to keep those skills up because it makes it more valuable for my clients, right? And then I have so many books. I can't even tell you. But I do, and last week I finished 2 books, but the funny thing is I have these, I think I have 4 or 5 books that I started that are just sitting, and then I get new books, and then I choose one of the new ones, and I read that, and so meanwhile, I have these other ones that are just sitting there half read, and every time I look at them, I'm like, oh, I should finish that one. Oh, I should finish that one. And then it's like, when you see a shiny penny, right? It's like, oh, I'll get that. And that's kind of how it is with the tasks and the trainings and all that, because oh, I'd rather watch an episode of that on Netflix, or I'd rather watch a Hallmark movie. And I'm not saying don't do stuff for fun or for self-care or Netflix binge or whatever, but if you make yourself a plan, okay, I'm going to read 2 chapters before I sit down and watch the movie, or I'm going to do 2 modules of that training and get that done. Kalisa's asking me where to find training courses. Kalisa, they're all over the place. For me, it's an accounting training that I want to do. It's a social media training that I'm in the middle of, and it's a leadership training with Darren Hardy, that a year-long training that I'm enrolled in, that you get to do the mod. If you can't do the modules live, you get to do them when you can do them. And I'm like 4 modules behind where everyone else is. So, and that's just simple procrastination, because I certainly have time on the weekends to catch up. And you know, I haven't. So that's my goal for this weekend. I'm going to catch up on that training. That's my first thing to complete. You can find, training programs anywhere. You can search, whatever you're looking to develop skills in, and you can find all kinds of different. I just recommend that when you find a training program, you do a little research. Try to find reviews on that program, or reviews on that, the educational place that's offering it or whatever, and make sure. There's a lot of crap out there. So make sure that if you're going to enroll in some kind of a training program, that the people or the person or the organization that is producing it and offering it has some good reviews, and that people are getting value out of it. But when you stop learning, you're pretty much dead, right? So you always want to keep learning, and you can learn new skills all the time. Keep polishing skills and learning new skills. That's why I read so much. And education is something that no one can ever take away from you. And reading is a great and inexpensive way to train yourself on certain things. So this week I invite you to play my challenge, which is to complete a few things that I have been procrastinating or putting off. So I'm going to get up to date on the leadership training, and I am going to devote at least 5 hours to the other training. I think I have about 40 hours to go in that other one. So I'm going to devote 5 hours to that, and I'm going to finish, finish at least one of the books that is half read. I have a terrible habit of, I order new books all the time. So I tasked myself with not ordering any new books for the month of April. What are we in? April. And I already have like 5 books in my Amazon cart just waiting for it to turn to May so I can buy them. Anyway, be in action. Do the thing, get the power. Do the thing, get the power. Right from Darren Hardy's leadership training that I'm enrolled in. Do the thing, get the power. Whatever the thing is, clean the fridge, clean the drawer, finish the book, invest a couple hours in the training that you're in the middle of. Whatever the case may be, do the thing, get the power. It'll give you the energy and the wherewithal to want to do the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And what happens is when you accomplish some of these things that you have been, putting off, then you give yourself a natural momentum to want to do something else, right? Because you kind of ride that high, the winning high, you stop the self-loathing, and you do the thing, and you get your power, and you feel good about yourself, and then you do another thing, and then you do another thing, and okay? And then watch for the self-sabotage, right? Because when you start to get in that role and catch momentum, your mind's going to tell you, oh, I've done enough things. I don't need to do that. It's too much. I already won. I finished 5 things. I don't need to do any more. So watch, because your mind will try to, your self-sabotage, and that, we'll call it monkey mind, will start to chatter at you and tell you, oh, you're working too hard. You have a full-time job. You don't need to do these extra projects. You don't need to do that. Don't worry about it. Okay? So watch for the self-sabotage chatter, because it will show up. And it's likely to show up right when you start to catch momentum and you're starting to feel really good about accomplishing stuff and like riding the high. So here's a couple things. One, it is small, consistent things. Amy's talking about making your bed every day, which we do here, and I taught my son that as well, and he does that. So consistency is key. And when you fall off, right? So when the self-sabotage kicks in and you're, and you have a day where you don't accomplish and monkey mind starts telling you like, hey, come with me, let's go over here and binge watch an entire day, okay? If you have a day, let it be a day. If you have a couple hours that are let it be that. Let it be a day. Don't let it turn into days. Don't let it turn into months or weeks. Okay? We're not going to be 100% effective 24/7, 365. Okay? We can be effective most of the time. The trick is when you do have a day where you don't feel like it or you don't want to, just be really clear. Okay, I'm marking this day as an I don't want a day. I'm taking the day and then I'm going to reset tomorrow morning and I'm going to go at it again. Make sure that your off day doesn't turn into days, weeks, months, years, because that can happen. Make the distinction. I'm taking a day to be a sloth. I'm taking a pajama day. I'm taking a day where I'm not doing anything and I don't feel like it, and that's going to be okay with me. And tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and I've got a list and I'm going to go at it again. Be consistent. Do small things consistently. Everybody's talking about making the bed. And I guess there's a book called Make Your Bed. It was a speech that I believe a Navy admiral gave, a commencement speech, and he talked about how valuable making your bed is. Roz, hi, good morning. Good to see you. I believe he was a Navy admiral, and he talked about, I think that's right. And he talked about how you can just gain a lot of power from making your bed. He gave a commencement speech that became famous, and it's been watched millions and millions of times. It's all over the internet. You can just go in Google or on YouTube and search "Make Your Bed" speech, and it'll come up. It's worth watching. He talks about how you can gain power from the littlest things, and he talks about how making your bed is a task that you've accomplished, and you can begin the day with a task that is done and have that feeling of accomplishment, and then you can build off that for the rest of the day. So it's a great, it is a great conversation. It is a great task. It's a great way to start. Making your bed is a great way to start. So it kind of allows you to reset, right, as, and then when you go in there at night, like you're getting into a fresh bed that's freshly made. You know what I'm saying? You're not just like, you're not leaving it a mess. And then, because every time you leave a mess, you might think you don't know, it doesn't matter, but it matters. If your car is a mess and you get in there every morning and you aren't thinking anything of it, it's actually affecting you. If your house is a mess and things aren't in order, all these things affect you, even if you tell me they don't or you don't think they do, because your attention is drawn. Little bits of your attention are drawn to all the things that are incomplete and all the things that are out of order, okay? If you've ever paid for a training program or if you've ever worked a staff, I did landmark education work for almost 3 decades, and I often worked on staff sometimes for events. And my mother was also a trainer, and we traveled throughout the United States. When I was in my early 20s, I ran her company, and we always made a point to make absolute perfect order in the room that the training was going to take place in, because when you're in a training and you're being faced with like uncomfortable, when you're being tasked with self-growth and looking at, uncomfortable things so you can have a breakthrough, your monkey mind will look for any reason to not pay attention to, what is being said. So if a chair is crooked, or if there's trash on the floor, or if the pictures are crooked, or things are out of alignment, your monkey mind will be looking for all of those things, okay? So that's true in your life as well. Your attention is taken away from your messy car. If you have bottles and trash in the back seat and you can't see it, so you don't think anything of it. If your dashboard is filled with dust, okay? If your kitchen is filled with dirty dishes, if when you walk in your house there's shoes and coats, and all of that stuff steals your aliveness, takes your attention away from making powerful change and powerful choices, and having all of the power available to you in a day that you could have, with all of these projects that we have unfinished, messes that we don't clean up. All of those things steal tiny little bits of your aliveness. And then before you know it, you're in this whole, what's the use? I don't have the energy. I don't, all of that, okay? So it's time to be in action. And I challenge you this week to be in action in your life. So either be in action cleaning up messes, or be in action completing things that you're procrastinating finishing, or be in action with some of the new things that you want to be creating and you're not. Be in action. Do the thing, get the power. Do the thing, get the power. Do the thing, get the power. That's what I want to see you guys doing this week. If you choose to accept my challenge, do the thing, get the power. I'm going to be doing it as well. It was a challenge given to me in a leadership training that I'm taking from Darren Hardy, and it's called the Heroes Training, and I believe that's Hardy's Heroes, but it's Hero's Journey is the name of the training, and it's a Darren Hardy training. It's a year-long training, and I need to catch up on the modules that I've missed, and that's what I was doing last night. And in module 4, this is where he really hit on, do the thing, get the power. Do the thing, get the power. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop making excuses to yourself. Just get off your ass and do the things that you are not doing. Complete the things that need to be completed. Start the things you aren't starting. Be consistent. Get in action. I putting my own spin on his basic point. Do the thing, get the power comes right from him. It actually comes from a quote, and I want to say it's Ralph Waldo Emerson, but I don't know if that's right. So I will find the quote for you guys, and we'll put it up on the Working Single Mom Facebook page. But the second part of it is do the thing, get the power, and that's where we need to be focused this week. Be in action. When you're in action, you're going to gain personal power back. Your vibe is going to be higher. We've been talking about the law of attraction. We've been talking about how you attract things where you're vibing. When you raise your vibration, you're going to attract better things, and it goes on from there. All right? So we're going to head out. I've certainly got a lot of things to do. I'm sure you guys have a lot of things to do as well. We're going to say goodbye to our podcast, folks. Don't forget to go to theworkingsinglemom.com and visit us there. We have lots of free downloads. We have, you can get to all the podcast stations from there. So if you just click the link on theworkingsinglemom.com that says listen to our podcast, it will direct you where Spotify, iTunes, we're all over the place with the podcast. And the podcast is simply the raw audio of a Saturday morning coffee chat. So if you missed coffee chat and you don't have time to rewatch a video, you can listen to the podcast audio. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. The next one comes out on Thursday. That is the only place that you can find my new blogs. I personally am blogging for the newsletter twice a month. We also feature our spotlighted ladies in the newsletter, and you can find the newsletter sign up on the workingsingle-mom.com as well. We'll say goodbye to our podcast folks right now. Goodbye. And Facebook fam. Bye, Nance. Have a good day at work. Hi, Angie. Hi, Megan. Visit us at theworkingsingle-mom.com. Go check out the free downloads. Roz, it was nice to see you this morning. Keep the faith. If you are struggling, if you are feeling like you can't do it, if you are feeling like you don't have the energy or the wherewithal to continue, if you are feeling sad and shitty, get in action. Do the thing, get the power. Give yourself actions to complete this week. Small things. Take a 5-minute walk. Clean out a closet. Clean out a drawer. Finish a book that you want to finish. Do the thing, get the power. Let that be your mantra this week, all of you. It will make a big difference. I would love to hear about the difference that it makes. You can email me. You can get my email address in the About section of the Facebook page or in the Contact Us at workingsingle-mom.com. Roz says she's going to go make her bed right now. Good girl. Make it every day. It will make you feel better. I promise. Even if it's just making the bed, you guys. Even if it's that simple. Okay? Or just leaving no dirty dishes in the sink, or cleaning up the area when you walk into the house, or cleaning out the car. Do something, be in action, do the thing, get the power. Amy, it was really good to see you this morning as well. Christopher Holt, if you're still with us, it was good to see you. Good to see all the rest of you. Thanks for the people that chimed in that have not been with us before. We will see you next Saturday morning for Coffee Chat. Have a great week.